All right, it's Friday morning and Daniel's about to pick me up and we're heading to Grinduro. The first time I went to Grinduro was back in 2016 for the first event, and it's hard to put it in context, but it felt like such a different thing at the time. I remember looking at John Watson's photos and thinking, I gotta go. So I drove all the way down from Montana and went and I met all these people here who ended up being still friends to this day. And actually a lot of the reason that I ended up moving to California. This year was the 10th anniversary of Grinduro, and it's gone through some iterations and changes over the years. I don't really know all about that, but I know it holds a special place in a lot of the hearts of people who were there this year, and it was fun to reconnect with a few of them. Daniel and I started our drive heading over the Bay Bridge. If you don't know my friend Daniel designed some really cool stuff, and we had a nice chat on the way up to the drive. Look how much fun we're having. Daniel also makes YouTubes, and he wanted to stop by the History Museum to check out some context around Quincy, which I thought was fun. Love a good small town museum. I thought these signs were really cool. Quincy is a cute little town in a beautiful valley, and it's always a treat to go there. It was pretty warm, so Nick and I decided to go bike down to the river and go for a dip. You can see Nick here riding on his new Super Something, which actually is a big part of the reason why we're here as well. These events are a good place for us to test and to show off our bikes, and I was riding my new Super Something too. This still isn't really released, but here's the first tease. You'll notice some differences like the fixed UDH dropouts. I'm running that SRAM transmission. We're also going to be offering a carbon fork as an option on this next one. I've really been enjoying how it rides. Also, the SRAM red is really nice. I've been loving these Maxxis Ramblers 50mm tires. I think they ride super nice. But anyway, back to the dip. Isn't that a beautiful swim spot? We went in pretty chilly and then headed back to the campground. It was really fun to see so many friends I've met over the years here. Dinner was great. In the morning, they had a great catered breakfast, but Matt opted for a Rice Krispie. Mikey made some bacon, and we all started to line up. So I went to 5 Grinduros back when they were in Quincy. I never made it to any of the Shasta or any of the other ones really. But one thing to note this year was that the attendance was a lot lower than it's been in the past. And I really liked that. I think the last couple of years in Quincy, it was kind of too much. You had to wait in line for breakfast, and there was, of course, at a bike event, there's always important business to take care of in the morning, and the lines are pretty long for that too. So it was really fun to have more of like a small community feel, and Sierra Butte's Trail Stewardship, who puts on the event, always does an amazing job. As you can see, it was very beautiful. I tried my best to pull the camera out and take some video, but you'll notice a lot of this has to do with climbing or aid stations, because on the downhills I was too busy having fun, and I want to make good videos, but I also want to have fun on my bike, so apologies for that, but not really. We started the day with a big old climb and then kind of cruised along for a while. After the really big fun descent, we got to the Paul aid station, where my friend Isaac just started working for Paul. Such a great community over at Paul Components. Shouts out Paul Component. And then we got to lunch. The cookies were super good. I made this wrap. I was hungry. It was a big day. Grinduro was a big day. It's 50 miles, 7-some thousand feet of climbing. And after lunch, we got this climb with these amazing views. Can't get over how beautiful it is up there, but it was steep. Part of the fun of Grinduro is deciding what bike to bring. It's a pretty even split on gravel bikes or mountain bikes. And I think that it's more fun on a mountain bike, even though I was taking the Super something out here. I mean, it's really fun to be riding where maybe you shouldn't be, but mountain bike hearing would have been nice. Then from the top of that climb, you're on the Mount Huff single track, which bombs you all the way back down to the end of the course. That's the last segment. Super fun. Great single track on a cross bike, probably even more fun on a mountain bike. And then after that, we all went and hung out at the river, which, again, wonderful swimming spot, all the friends. So yeah, that was Grinduro.